We're 16 days away from the draft, and lying season is in full effect. One of the biggest questions heading into this year's draft is what the Arizona Cardinals are going to do it. There has been plenty of speculation that they will trade Josh Rosen and draft Kyler Murray. The Redskins are considered the favorites to land Rosen if he does get traded. The question is, what will it cost? It will likely take at least a second-round pick this year, which affects what Washington does throughout the draft. Missouri QB Drew Lock and Duke QB Daniel Jones are still popular options for the Redskins if they don't trade for Rosen. But there is a new favorite in the mix for their first overall pick. WR D.K. Metcalf is the overwhelming favorite this week for various reasons. A lot of people are giving projected new QB Josh Rosen a big target. Most people just recognize that the Redskins' WR core is not good. The other positions that keep getting drafted are inside linebacker, outside linebacker and cornerback. Getting an edge rusher in the first round this year is a pretty popular option among Redskins fans, and there is a lot of talent at the top this year. Devin White shows up this week, but he's still expected to be gone by 15, so do the Redskins consider the other Devin it? Would they fix that position long-term over other needs, talent? Should the Redskins still draft a QB in the first round? Is trading for Josh Rosen the best long-term answer this year? Which non-QB will help the Redskins most this year? Quarterback draft hack round 2, Hakeem Butler, WR, Iowa State round 3, Trayvon Mullen, CB, Clemson Daniel Jones, QB, Duke Walter football, Campbell. The Case Keenum trade won't take away quarterback as an option for Washington. Keenum is just a stopgap player. As WalterFootball.com reported first, the Redskins were getting a third-round compensation pick, so they have extra ammo if they want to move up slightly to get a quarterback of the future. I believe that Drew Lock or Daniel Jones could be the target for Washington. Jones completed 61% of his passes in 2018 for 2,674 yards with 22 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He also missed 2 games with a collarbone injury. The 6'5", 221-pounder has good size, pocket presence and a quality arm, plus is an intelligent signal caller. Jones received excellent preparation for the NFL from head coach David Cutcliffe. As a 3-year starter, Jones enters the NFL having played in 36 games. In 2017, Jones completed 56% of his passes for 2,439 yards with 12 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. As a freshman, he made 63% of his passes for 2,836 yards with 16 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Round 2, Riley Ridley, WR, Georgia. The Redskins could use more receiving threats for their offense. Ridley totaled 44 catches for 570 yards and 9 touchdowns in 2018. He is a nice wide receiver who was capable of producing a lot more, but the Bulldogs did not give him a lot of targets due to their running-based defense. Ridley, 6'1", 199, is a quick, smooth wideout who can generate separation via agility and route running. He also got good preparation for the NFL from Jim Chaney. Round 3, Deontay Thompson, Alabama. The Redskins could use a free safety to go with Landon Collins. Thompson had a great start to 2018, and multiple team sources were raving about him, but he cooled down and disappointed in the back half of the season. He had an underwhelming game against Georgia and then turned in 2 very ugly performances against Oklahoma and Clemson in the college football playoffs. On the year, he totaled 2 interceptions, 6 passes broken up, 3 forced fumbles and 79 tackles. The 6'1", 195-pounder has a good skill set, but he lacks instincts, and after his hot start to 2018, he stopped making plays on the ball. Thompson was a backup to Minkah Fitzpatrick and Ronnie Harrison as a junior. Over limited playing time in 2017, Thompson had 25 tackles, a pass breakup and an interception. David Sills, WR, West Virginia. Weeks ago, sources told me the Redskins would receive this compensatory pick, and the NFL announced the compensatory picks just before the Combine. The Redskins could use a few receivers for their offense. In 2018, Sills totaled 65 passes for 986 yards and 15 touchdowns. He was very productive in 2017, with 60 receptions for 980 yards with 18 touchdowns. The 6'3", 211-pounder has mismatched size and runs well enough that he challenged college defenses downfield. Sills is an excellent red zone weapon with his size, hands, and leaping ability. The big question will be if he is fast enough to separate from NFL-caliber corners. Speed issues could push him lower. Sporting News: Jones has all-around, pro-tailored skills to go with his ideal size, 6'5", 221 pounds, built up by NFL-friendly tutelage from Peyton and Eli Manning mentor David Cutcliffe. Jones also has the tough makeup that makes him a good successor to Alex Smith, with Case Keenum serving as only bridge insurance. CBS Sports: Wilson, is this too high for Jones? Maybe, but NFL teams seem to be higher on him than the media. He'll give Washington a much-needed franchise quarterback who is as close as you're going to get to Eli Manning as in this draft class. He played for David Cutcliffe at Duke. Round 2, Eric McCoy, OL, Texas A. McCoy is the second-best center in this class who can also play guard in the NFL. Round 3, Mecole Hardman, WR, Georgia, compactly built slot receiver who blazed a 4.33 40 at the Combine and is a catch-and-run terror out of the slot. He's a four-down player who can also return kicks. WR LB, Stanford athletic if undersized linebacker who relies on his physical skills to get to the ball but needs to be a more consistent tackler. CBS Sports: Trapasso, the Redskins have a crowded quarterback but beyond the injured Alex Smith, none of the signal callers inspire much hope for the future. Jones would have a shot to start at some point as a rookie and would be a nice fit in Jay Gruden's West Coast defense. Round 2, Marquise Brown, WR, Oklahoma. While Brown offers more of a downfield threat, after losing Jamison Crowder, the Redskins could be interested in a smaller, quick-twitch target. CBS Sports: Prisco, their quarterback situation isn't good right now, which is why Jones would be worth a pick for the long run. He could sit for a year. Houston Chronicle: Drew Lock, QB, Missouri. Washington Post: Clayton. The Redskins said at the owners' meetings that they don't feel pressure to draft a quarterback, now that they have Case Keenum to compete for the starting job with Colt McCoy. But if the draft falls this way, how can they pass on the gift of a potential franchise quarterback? SB Nation: Catter, offseason needs, left guard, wide receiver, edge rusher, offensive tackle. Lock is singularly the most difficult player to place in a mock draft. His smallish hands and erratic play should, theoretically, eliminate him from the discussion in the first round. However, we've seen time and again, NFL teams love to gamble on big-armed quarterbacks in the draft. Washington and Bruce Allen could be that team this year. Draft Wire: Easterling, Round 2, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, WR, Stanford. Round 3, Sean Bunting, CB, Central Michigan. Devon Coney, LB, Notre Dame. Dwayne Haskins, QB, Ohio State. Bleacher Report: McChrystal, Kyler Murray, QB, Oklahoma. Bleacher Report: Rolling, wide receiver. CBS Sports: Wilson, Metcalf, who blazed a 4.33 40-yard time at the Combine, has game-changing talent. The Redskins appear to have their short-term solution at quarterback in Case Keenum, and Metcalf gives him someone to throw the ball to. Round 2, Chris Lindstrom, OL, Boston College. A first-round talent, Lindstrom was dominant at Boston College. Also, Eric Flowers, who could move to guard, won't solve the Redskins' interior line problems, but Lindstrom will. Round 3, Will Grier, QB, West Virginia. Grier had an impressive career at West Virginia, but questions about inconsistency and arm strength see him fall to Round 3. He's a good fit for Jay Gruden's scheme, but who knows how long Gruden has in Washington to turn things round. Jaquan Johnson, S. Miami. Johnson isn't a big guy but he can lay the wood. He plays center field but is also good in run support and is a sure tackler. Walter Football: I've been mocking a quarterback to the Redskins for what seems like an eternity. One of Dwayne Haskins, Daniel Jones or Drew Lock is still on the table at number 15 overall. However, all reports indicate that the Redskins are the favorites to land Josh Rosen, so I wanted to explore this possibility. If Washington obtains Rosen, it'll have to find a number 1 receiver for him to throw to. Scratch that, it'll have to find any sort of viable wideout for him. The top players at the position are currently Josh Doctson, Paul Richardson and Trey Quinn. Yuck, D.K. Metcalf didn't look like a no. 1 receiver at Ole Miss, as he was unproductive while running poor routes. However, he posted elite numbers at the Combine, displaying a ridiculous amount of upside. Round 2, Rock Ya-Sin, CB, Temple. The Redskins may not have this pick as a result of a possible Josh Rosen trade, but if they keep this selection, it could be used on one of the many second-round cornerback prospects to fill a big need. Rock Ya-Sin has been an underrated play-making cornerback for Temple as a senior. Round 3, Connor McGovern, G.C., Penn State. The Redskins have one of the worst centers in the NFL, so that's a position they'll sorely need to upgrade. They also need help at guard, so why not draft a player who can play all 3 interior offensive line positions? C.J. Conrad, Tay, Kentucky. Jordan Reed has proven to be unreliable, so the Redskins will need to find a new tight end. C.J. Conrad is a nice route runner with good hands. San Diego Times U.T. Alex Smith's gruesome leg injury might make a QB a necessity here. Or maybe Case Keenum is an okay placeholder for a season. Either way, it'll be hard to pass on Metcalf here. He's a big, explosive target who could develop into one of the league's premier home run threats. Top needs: QB, WR, C, CB, edge. Round 2, Eric McCoy, C, Texas A. If someone like Drew Lock is available, that's a possibility. But it makes more sense to give the guy they just invested a lot in, Case Keenum, the best chance to succeed. Getting him a true number 1 receiver will go a long way in doing just that. Round 2, Deontay Thompson, S, Alabama. Round 3, Jordan Dwamu, QB, Ole Miss. Nate Davis, OL, Charlotte. The Athletic. Brugler. Although Josh Doctson production has steadily risen in his 3 seasons since entering the league, he hasn't been the no. 1 receiving target they hoped. Metcalf has that type of potential, regardless if it is Case Keenum, Colt McCoy or Josh Rosen throwing him the football. Round 2, DeAndre Baker, CB, Georgia. Round 3, Darnell Savage, FS, Maryland. Will Greer, QB, WVU. Round 5, Justin Hollins, OLB, Oregon. Trevon Tate, OL, Memphis. Round 6, Cody Barton, LB, Utah. Round 7, Donald Parham, Tate, Stetson. Derwin Gray, OL, Maryland. CBS Sports. Brinson, no-brainer here for the WR needy Redskins. They get a surprising drop from workout warrior Metcalf and give Case Keenum a straight-line weapon who can hopefully ease the burden on their current no. 1. Checks notes, Josh Doctson. Optimum scouting: Redskins could be players for Drew Lock, but odds are they sit back and try to find a true number 1 receiver that Josh Doctson isn't. Patriots.com, thanks. Somebody in the draft's opening 20 picks is going to talk themselves into swooning over Metcalf's freakish measurables, and that kind of sounds like something Washington would do. I'd be wary that Metcalf has a thick, chiseled body and too thin track record, and opt instead for Iowa tight end Noah Fant at no. 15. But Washington has been known to follow its own advice almost exclusively. LA Times: the Redskins love splashy players, and the muscle-bound Metcalf is certainly that. Maybe he's the next Julio Jones, or maybe he's just David Boston. Sporting News: the Redskins have a couple short-term Alex Smith contingencies in Case Keenum and Colt McCoy, and if they don't target a quarterback later in the draft, trading for Rosen would be an option, too. Using this pick to go after a true number 1 receiver, instead, makes a lot more sense. Metcalf lived up to his reputation as a beast, 6'3", 228 pounds, at the combine with his blazing 40-yard dash time, 4.33, high number of bench press reps, 27, and amazing vertical, 40.5 inches. He's a classic size, speed prospect, and then some. Sports Illustrated: there isn't a team in the NFL that needs receiver help more than Washington, which, if the season started today, would trot out Josh Rosen, Paul Richardson, Trey Quinn and Darvin Kidsey as its top pass catchers. Here's another team that will probably look to 2020 to draft its next starting QB. Outside linebacker NFL.com, Davis. This is another spot where a QB discussion will take place, but after Washington added big men to the D-line in recent years, Jonathan Allen, Darren Payne, OLB Ryan Kerrigan, will be excited to get another edge rusher in the mix. The huddle let us assume Case Keenum is indeed the 2019 starter and is serviceable. Washington's admittedly in a win-now mode, and what is the best way to cover for a struggling offense? A stout defense. Washington doesn't have to score a lot of points, just more than their opponents. The loss of edge presence Preston Smith to the Packers needs to be addressed, and the hyper-athletic Burns is the guy to do it. Bleacher Report: Gould, Clelin Ferrell, OLB, Clemson. New York Post: Ryan Kerrigan needs a pass-rushing sidekick now that Preston Smith is a Packer. Their second-round pick goes to the Cardinals for Rosen. NFL.com, Casserly: the Redskins have been looking for a pass rusher to play opposite Ryan Kerrigan for years. With the first pick for those keeping score at home, Clelin Ferrell is the sixth edge defender off the board by the time we reach the 15th overall pick. And while this slotting may seem a bit rich for Ferrell's draft stock, he looks and feels very much like the kind of player who will get drafted a lot earlier than what's being projected right now. Ferrell may not have the highest ceiling among the pass rushers in the 2019 NFL Draft, but he might be the safest. The Washington Redskins will give QB Daniel Jones a long, hard look at this spot, but Ferrell's combination of production and solid film serve as the tiebreaker. Rashawn Gary, OLB, Michigan Draft Network, Kelly: with the departure of free agent Preston Smith, Washington will be looking to upgrade the edge spot opposite of Ryan Kerrigan. While Rashawn Gary isn't a natural edge, he has raw tools and projects as an inside-outside threat along the defensive line. There's been talks about Gary going as high as pick 4 to Oakland, which means getting him at pick 15 would provide value for Washington. Josh Allen, OLB, Kentucky Draft Network, Crabs: a steal for Washington at 15. I had a bit of a mini-slide manifest for Allen, who is my EDGE4 but still a top 10 overall player. Losing Preston Smith hurts, but if you're going to put Allen in a role where he can make the most of his athleticism and win off the edge, I like this fit. Inside linebacker, NBC Sports Washington: the good news is the Redskins have options for their primary needs, namely edge rusher, guard receiver, free safety, and inside linebacker. They no longer need to panic at quarterback, and the top 3 in this class probably won't be available here anyway. If the Redskins don't love the guard depth in this class, then grabbing Oklahoma's Cody Ford here has merit. Safety and receiver options exist on day 2. As for ILB, Bush, the Big Ten DPOY, would bring needed speed and 3-down talent to a shaky run defense. Laurier, QB, WVU: it's not even about 2019. Case Keenum and maybe Colt McCoy could probably offer enough this season if Redskins improve spots around them. What happens in 2020 with both entering free agency and Alex Smith's future in doubt is why targeting a quarterback on day 2 should be in play. Fansided: the Washington Redskins will have a new man under center once again this season, as they traded with the Denver Broncos for Case Keenum this offseason. Of course, that move was only made necessary due to the horrible injury suffered by Alex Smith last season, and there is no word what his NFL future will be moving forward. Last season, before the Smith injury, the Redskins were the class of the NFC East, leading the division for half the season. However, it was all downhill once Smith went down, as the team had to roll with guys like Mark Sanchez and Josh Johnson under center. In 2019, the Redskins will be looking to rebound in a big way, and they could use some extra help on the other side of the ball. One player who could be a nice fit for their defense is Devin Bush from Michigan, who is one of only 2 linebackers in this draft class that are currently considered first-round talents. Washington finished the 2018 season with 7 wins, and they have already added some quality talent to the defense by bringing in Landon Collins. They need to revamp this linebacker group, and in Bush, you have a player who can be considered one of the more versatile players at his position coming out this season. Bleacher Report Modone. In this mock draft, Arizona chose Murray, which means Rosen will have to find a new home. Based on starting quarterback Case Keenum's 2018 performance, consider the Washington Redskins a suitor for the Cardinals' signal caller. Using the context above, Washington looks past the quarterback position and toward its defense. Last year, the front office acquired linebacker Reuben Foster after the 49ers waived him, but he's on the commissioner-exempt list because of an alleged domestic dispute. Mason Foster only has a year left on his deal. The team released Zach Brown in March. Devin White addresses the inside linebacker spot for at least the next 4 years. Although he's often compared to Roquan Smith, he doesn't have the Chicago Bears linebacker's athleticism. However, the LSU product thwarts the run with ease, frequently reaches the backfield and wraps up ball carriers as well as pass catchers with sound tackling technique. The 2018 Dick Butkus Award winner can also drop back into short area coverage to pose a threat in pass defense. He broke up 6 passes during his last year with the Tigers. Although White won't accumulate eye-popping sack numbers, he's still capable of collapsing the pocket in blitz packages. Cornerback Pro Football Focus. The drop-off at cornerback is too big to not take Baker here, whereas wide receivers can be selected early in Round 2. Round 2, Julian Love, CB, Notre Dame. Round 3, Charles Omenihu, Edge, Texas. Emmanuel Hall, WR, MissouriNJ.com. Just behind Williams in the pecking order for best corner in this draft. 3%, 16 votes, 1%, 9 votes, 3%, 18 votes, 4%, 21 votes, 4%, 21 votes, 11%, 57 votes, 21%, 110 votes, 1%, 7 votes, 0%, 5 votes, 27%, 141 votes, 1%, 9 votes, 17%, 90 votes, 0%, 3 votes, 507 votes. Total vote now.